Here.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Here.
First on the agenda this evening is a proclamation declaring October 24th, 2021 as United Nations Day.
Okay. Proclamation. Whereas the world continues to seek the road of peace and international cooperation through the United Nations is a unique organization of independent countries that have voluntarily joined together to work for world peace and economic and social progress. It is the foremost organization in the world working for women's rights and the advancement of women. Whereas the United States' support of and leadership in the United Nations is essential to successfully achieving the goals and objectives of the world organizations. Whereas all citizens of the United States and throughout the world are encouraged to observe the birthday of the United Nations on October 24th, 2021. Now, therefore, I, Robert Odekirk, Mayor of the City of Joliet, Illinois, on behalf of the Joliet City Council, do hereby proclaim October 24th, 2021 as United Nations Day in the city of Joliet, Illinois, in recognition of the commitment of the United Nations, Zonta International, and the Zonta Club of Joliet to the advancement of the status of women internationally, nationally, and in the Joliet area, signed by Mayor Robert Odekirk. And I believe there's some folks here tonight.
Yes.
Joanne, you're a member of Zonta. Come on up. Any other members from Zonta? Come on up, ladies. Here you go. Thank you. I'd like to say a few words.
Yes,
go right
just
ahead.
a few words.
And,
Thank you so much.
And introduce yourself, please.
Okay, for sure.
It'll pick up. It won't bounce.
Okay, good. Okay. I am Pam Hunty, and I am so happy to be here tonight. I'm chairman of the International Committee with Zonta in the Joliet area, and these are my colleagues. We're pleased to accept this proclamation. Sunday is UN Day. In a sense, it's the birthday of the UN. It's the anniversary of the signing of the Charter, which was right after World War II in 1945. The Zonta Club has a special focus, as you mentioned, on the status of women throughout the world, which also includes status of girls. We work internationally, we work nationally, we work locally. Maybe some of you are familiar with Take Back the Night. We're active in 65 countries, and to accomplish our goals, we work internationally with UN agencies. And so this is why UN is so important to us. We work with UNICEF, we work with UNFPA, Fund for Population Activities, through international service projects. More than $4 million this year has been allotted to some projects. I'll just name a few. In South America, in Peru, we're working with Girls Health. In Africa, in Madagascar, we're working with girls' education. In the Pacific, we have programs in Papua New Guinea to go against gender-based violence. We have many others too. And the one that is dear to our hearts as Zonta members here in Joliet is one in Afghanistan, in which we are helping a women's learning center, which we hope is still running in the western side of the country in coordination with a very reputable local NGO called Afghan Institute of Learning. So on behalf of all of the members of the Joliet area Zonta Club, we thank you for this proclamation.
Thank you, great work.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great. Maybe a photo.
Oh, sure.
Quickly? Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Or shall we wait? No,
Just go right up there. We'll get one real quick. We'll get the picture and we'll post it.
very good.
I thought David was here, sorry.
He is, he's in the other room.
Oh, okay.
I'll get it.
You want to come in the middle, Sherry? You want to come in the middle?
They're gonna take that.
Oh, very good. Oh,
Is it because I'm a girl?
Yes. Well, you and Jan.
Oh, dear. Thank you very much.
Sign on in.
Here you go. Put your hand in front of Joe's face.
Thank you.
Good, good.
Yeah,
The second proclamation that was on the agenda will be brought back at a later date. So next on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as written?
So move.
Second.
Been motion and seconded to approve. Councilman Clement,
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero,
Aye.
Councilman Hug,
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin,
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman,
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
I'd like to make a few comments on the agenda. Apparently, the alley policy is more complicated than we could have imagined. February 3rd, the council members in Land Use and Legislative Committee voted unanimously to approve and to bring the alley policy to the full council for approval. It wasn't done. I requested to Mr. Caparelli in writing over 2 weeks ago and again in person on the dais at our last meeting. It was not brought forward. Councilwoman Gavin has done the same several times. It was not put on our agenda. I am not certain about any of the other council members, but I just wonder why is it just a waste of time when we have these committee meetings and we vote to bring things forth to our agenda? Why are we doing it? We are the legislators, you are the administrator. Because the LA policy has not been put on the agenda, I vote to not approve. I vote no.
Okay, the motion was carried 5-1. Next is citizens to be heard on agenda items. Is there anyone present that would like to speak on an agenda item this evening? Seeing none, we'll move on to council committee reports versus the finance committee report.
Thank you. The Finance Committee met today at 5:30 here. In attendance was Sherry Reardon, Cesar Guerrero, and myself. There is only a few items on here. The one item that we did approve to move to the full council, which will be in the November meeting, is our renewal of our health insurance. I think as everyone knows, we are self-insured and our costs for claims are whatever those claims are. We have some stop-loss coverage in there. The administration cost for both the dental and the medical have remained virtually the same, and that is the biggest negotiating item that we have with Gallagher, who has been the provider of these services for some time here. The other item on our agenda on finance is the income level has continued to go up. Most of the increases have been in the service or the sales area, and we tried to match our numbers with the 2019 budget, and at this stage, without the extra 11 million from the federal government, we are about 30 million over where we were on 2019. I don't know if Mr. Gandati wants to add anything to that? Or Sherry or
No.
Caesar? Not, that's my report.
Okay, thank you.
Land use and legislative committee report.
Okay, land use met, I believe, October 8th in the council chambers here. We had a very short agenda, but it was a very long meeting. We had several people here complaining about the Airbnbs. There's several in the area which we didn't know. They're not licensed, they're not getting taxed, there's no background checks. And people just don't want strangers coming in and out of their neighborhoods. So they're not regulated like was brought to our attention at a council meeting. So what the committee decided to do was hold off on an ordinance until we check other communities to see what they have going on. I know that Naperville has banned any type of Airbnb in their community. And until that happens, we're gonna check that out, but in the meantime, we wanna focus on the, single-family rental. And that was the wish of the committee, so we have tabled the Airbnb indefinitely. Number two, there was an ordinance amending chapter 23, article 3, section 23 about fee codes. And, the city of Joliet has not raised the, economic development, the development fees, impact fees since 2009. So we're in line with all the other municipalities. So we decided to go ahead and pass that. And I did believe we passed another one earlier in September as well, and sent that back to city council. And last but not least, people were very, very concerned about not only the single-family rentals, like I said, but also other folks wanted to know when we were gonna do the Citizens Review Board. That was supposed to come back to land use. So we decided that we're going to meet, everybody's been really busy since this past October, so we decided to meet on Thursday, October 28th at 10 a.m. in the council chambers to go over the Citizens Review Board. Joe, did I cover it all?
You did the only thing, we met on the 13th.
Oh, sorry, I had the 8th on these minutes, so these are wrong. Apologize.
Nope, all good.
Okay, we're good. Anything else? That concludes our report. On
Public
behalf
ser-
of Terry Morse.
Public Service Committee report.
Public Service met yesterday here in the City Hall, City Council chambers at 4:30. On the committee are myself, Councilwoman Gavin, and Councilman Morris. I will highlight several items. We went through the 2 items related to the Humboldt Road Bridge, otherwise known as the bridge that some people said would never be built. And we're moving forward. We recommended for approval a contract to deconstruction for $29,985,469.05 for the improvements of the, ultimately it will be a diverging diamond of Humboldt I-80. We also ordered award, recommended award of a contract for professional engineering services for the phase 3 of the Humboldt Bridge, Hollywood Road project for $3,175,000. So the good news there is it continues to move forward. We know that. There's more than one shovel in the ground. We did some other items like stocking up on traffic signal materials from a sole source and recommending that we approve that. Also, renewed the snow removal with a very, very, very slight increase. We took an option for an extra year off the contract for downtown and city center area. Now, we also recommended the award of 3 contracts, phase 3A, 3B, and 3C. It was broken into 3 just to make it more, to encourage more bidding. This is the lead removal. I just want to be clear that the city of Joliet has no lead in the ground for any of the assets we own. This is service lines to homes that were built prior to 1930. And so this money, each contract was, one was 1.3 million, one was 1.1 million, one was $1 million, roughly a little bit more. And this will be homes, there will be homes, I believe this accounts for, if I remember, was it 190 homes, but their homes, their service lines will be removed because ultimately when we finish this program that we've been doing for several years, Joliet will be completely lead-free. And again, the city assets have always been lead-free. It's the private service lines. This is a federal loan that once we spend it to remediate lead, it turns into a grant. So it doesn't cost any money out of our budget. It comes from federal dollars on a loan converted to a grant once we do that. And we've been doing that for several years. We had several items under change order pay estimates and final payments. We did look them over and vet them as we did all the items under contracts. And we did have a brief presentation from Director Allison Swisher. Nothing new about the water system. I guess I would sum it up by saying that everything's moving forward, including the continued interest of as many as 11 communities to be part of the project, which was good to hear. And they will continue with the stakeholder virtual meetings. And anybody interested, because of course, the most important stakeholder, there's many stakeholders, the most important one being residents of the city. Go to the city website and you can find it under meetings and you can attend it if you'd like. That is, and I have nobody here to back me up, so that is my report, Mayor.
Thank you.
I show no other reports. Under consent agenda, approval of the minutes. It's recommended the minutes of the pre-council meeting held on October 4th, 2021, and the minutes of the council meeting held on October 5th, 2021 stand approved as recorded. Invoices paid report. It's recommended this report be received and placed on file. Council memo 472-21, position vacancies. It's recommended the city manager be authorized to fill one police chief position. Council memo 473-21, purchase a sewer pipe television inspection crawler and camera system for the utilities department from EJ Equipment in the amount of $225,786. Council memo 474-21, change order number 1 for the sanitary sewer cleaning and inspection program to National Power Routing in the amount of $92,500, and amendment number 1 to RJN Group in the amount of $15,540. It's recommended council memos 473-21 through 474-21 be approved. Is there a motion to approve said consent agenda items?
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye?
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Motion carried. Moving on under ordinances, Council Memo 476-21, an ordinance approving the reclassification of 3.31 acres located at 7,000 Caton Farm Road from RB Restricted Business to B1 Neighborhood Business zoning, and a resolution approving a first amendment to an annexation agreement for 7,000 Caton Farm Road. It's recommended said ordinance and resolution be adopted.
I enthusiastically make that motion.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Hug?
Aye?
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 477-21, an ordinance approving a special use permit to allow development to approve. Councilwoman Coleman? 1. Carried. Recommended said resolution be adopted. Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero? The execution of the collective bargaining.
Second.
Union, these have been,
making sure that we have a fair contract.
Mayor and council comments.
Joe,
Absolutely.
Get the asphalt done there, and there's a few
A few calls about.
The Water Department, kind, sweet teddy bear, October 30th, because it's still kind of COVID.
Thursday, they benefit so many different.
gave an award to Elson Swisher. There was a State of the Region Award here with Councilman Clement, Councilman Mudrin. Congratulations to By Park for the work they're doing over there. October, pretty strongly from the neighborhood groups in that area, not just Kappa, but St. Pat's and others. He had made an announcement a couple of years ago, making the commitment to over $1 billion coming to our that need to come. So thank you, Governor Pritzker and the state of Illinois. And then finally, this morning, I was at the University for his work. And then just to follow up, Councilman Coleman, on your comments about Halloween, it's 4 to 7, and stay healthy with your families, please.
7:30 for sure, because everything else said 4 to 7. That's why
Maybe
I'm
I'm wrong.
questioning.
Fire Chief Blasky?